Shivaya, good morning.
ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भाम्
सदाशिवसमारम्भाम्
शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम्
शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमम्
अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां
अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां
वन्दे
वन्दे
गुरुपरम्पराम्
गुरुपरम्पराम्
ॐ
ॐ
सहनावतु सहनौ
सहनावतु
भुनक्तु
सहनौ
सह
भुनक्तु सह
वीर्यं
वीर्यं
तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै
तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा
ॐ
विद्विषावहै
शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
Om
शान्तिः
Tat Sat, Om Namah
ॐ
Shivaya.
तत्सत्
Good
ॐ
morning,
नमः
everybody.
ॐ तत्सत् ॐ नमः शिवाय
Okay, so we have completed the Mandukya Upanishad in Upanishad 1 session. And in Upanishad 2 sessions, we are now on Katha Upanishad. So normally after the first 6 Upanishads, we take up Chandogya. And Chandogya is one of those uh, what is called major Upanishads. There are 10 major Upanishads. I mean, the name is major. There's nothing major or minor about any Upanishad because they all contain the same information. But the name major is being given because they have been commented upon by Shankaracharya. And there are 10 major Upanishads, and we should remember all of them. We should at least know the names of all of them. So there is a small little sloka for that purpose. I can put the sloka in later, but I'll just chant it for you. Ishakena kathaprashna mundamandukya tittarihi aitireyam cha chandogyam brihadaranyakam tatha. So there are slokas for everything. There's a nice little sloka. It enables you to remember all the 10 Upanishads. Okay, now we have completed 6 in group 1. We are on the third or fourth in group 2. But I thought we would include group 2 also in this Chandogya because I don't think we'll have sufficient time, or I will have sufficient time. Prarabdha won't be there. Do it a second time. Chandogya is a very, very large Upanishad. Brihadaranyaka also is a very large Upanishad. And while the first 6 we do covers all the major teachings, normally we will find, if you look around when other teachers are there, other schools are there, unless they are full-time schools of Vedanta, you will find that usually Chandogya and Brihadaranyaka are not taken up, largely because they are very, very large Upanishads. So, for example, Chandogya is more than 4 times as large as Taittiriya. So that should give you an idea of how big it is. Now, why then do we do Chandogya? Chandogya Upanishad is unique in the sense that it has 8 chapters, and the first 5 chapters they deal with Upasana alone. So this we don't find in other Upanishads. The Upasana portion is very limited. So here Karma Kanda is dealt with in great detail over 5 chapters. That is one reason why we are doing. The other reason is that uh, when we finally graduate to Brahma Sutra, you will find that Vyasacharya keeps a large number of mantras from Chandogya Upanishad in mind when he writes Brahma Sutra. So if we don't know Chandogya, a large portion of Brahma Sutras we will not understand at all. So Chandogya is very important. And for the same reason, Brihadaranyaka also is very important because a large number of quotations from there find their way into Brahma Sutra. Right? Of course, Brahma Sutra has quotations from all Upanishads, but you will find that the majority will be there from Mundaka, Chandogya, Brihadaranyaka, and so on. Prashna Upanishad. Okay. So, and that is the reason why we look at the Chandogya. The word Chandogya, so it is not Chandogya, it is Chandogya, right? Cha. And it comes from the word Chanda. Chandaha is a Vedic meter, right? Like Anushtup, Trishtup. All these are Vedic meters. So Chanda is Vedic meter. And because there are several Vedic meters in the Veda, a secondary meaning for Chandaha is Shruti itself, Veda itself. So that is Chandaha. Then Gaha. Gaha means a singer. And therefore, what is Chandogya? Chanda Gayati iti Chandogya. One who sings the Vedas, is a Chandogya. Who sings the Vedas? Normally, Vedas are chanted. So you say Veda Pathati, right? Who sings the Vedas? Which branch of the Veda is set to music? Samaveda, right?
Samaveda.
Therefore, the obviously, therefore, Chandogya belongs to Samaveda. Right? The Samaveda alone sings the Veda. All the other three Vedic Vedas, those people, they chant the Veda. Veda Patha, the chant. Veda Pathanam it is called. Only here it is Gayana. And why is it called Sama? Because Samam means balance, harmony, rhythm, and therefore it can be taken as music. So Samaveda is Veda set to music. So with this brief background, let us go to the Shanti Pathaha. I don't know how many of you have actually bought the book, but I had sent you a PDF also. So it should not be difficult for even those who have not bought the book. So let us unmute yourself and we will chant the Shanti Pathaha. Om Apyayantu Mamangani.
Om Apyayantu Mamangani.
Panaschakshushrotram.
Pranachakshushrotram.
Vakpranashchakshushrotram.
Vakpranachakshushrotram.
Atho balamindriyani cha sarvani.
Ato balamindriyani sarvani.
Sarvam Brahma Upanishadam.
Sarvam Brahma Upanishadam.
Aham Brahma Nirakuryam.
Maham Brahma Nirakuryam.
Ama Brahma Nirakarot.
Yama Nirakarot.
Nirakaramastu.
Nirakaramastu.
Nirakaranam me astu.
Nirakaramastu.
Tadatmani nirate.
Tadatmani nirate.
Yaupanishatsu dharmaha.
Upanishadharmaha.
Temai santu, temai santu.
Te mai santu.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti.
So chanting goes Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Coming from higher to lower. Okay. Okay, so this is a mantra, a prayer, where the sadhaka, the student, is asking for removal of obstacles. Vigna nivrattihi. And what obstacles? Those obstacles for pursuing the Vedantic study. And what are the factors that we need for the study? First and foremost, you should have physical health. right? Because let us not discount the necessity for physical health, because without health, without good bodily health, remember that there is neither spiritual progress nor material progress. So, body, we definitely, we say body is mithya, right? But the body, therefore, is not the goal for us, but definitely the means to achievement of the goal the body is. And therefore, he says, Mamangani. Mamangani, Mama Angani, my organs. Apyayantu. Let them grow, let them be strong. Mamangani apyayantu. Let all my organs be healthy. And what are these organs? Vak, pranaha, chakshu, shrotra. You can understand organ of speech, the pancha pranas, the eyes, the ears. In short, sarvani indrani, all my organs. Let them be healthy. And balam, atho balam cha. Let me have physical strength also. So this first part of the Shanti mantra is about a prayer for health. And from the point of view of the sadhaka, it's a prayer for health with a very specific purpose so that I can do all the work that is necessary, karma yoga, upasana yoga, jnana yoga. Therefore, this prayer is nishkama. Even though you're asking for things, the ultimate aim is moksha and jnana, right? Okay. The second part of the prayer is for to ensure that I have faith in Saguna Brahman as well as Nirguna Brahman. Because without faith in the Lord, in Ishvara, Saguna Brahman, nothing can be achieved. Without Ishvara's blessings, nothing can be achieved. So that is the second portion of the invocation. And the third portion is uh, prayer for sadhana chatushtaya sampatti. Remember here that sarvam brahma, everything is Brahman only, but we must know the same Brahman can be understood as Nirguna Brahman, properly understood. The Jagat, the universe properly understood, is Brahman alone. And Brahman improperly understood, misunderstood Brahman is Jagat alone, is universe alone. And therefore he says Upanishadam. Upanishadam means that which can be known only through the Upanishad. So that Brahman, which is Upanishadam, there are no other pramanams, which can give you knowledge of Brahman. Only Shruti can. And therefore it says Aham Ma Brahma Nirakuryam. Nirakuryam means to uh, reject or to negate. So, aham ma Brahma Nirakuryam. May I never reject that Brahman or its existence, right? If I go into the study with the idea that there is no Brahman at all, then I cannot study because I cannot study what I don't think is there. And therefore, may I not reject the existence of Brahman because through the study only I will come to know that Brahman. Therefore, aham ma Brahma Nirakuryam. May I not reject that Brahman until I come to the study. This Brahman is not available for Indriyas. It's Indriya Gocharam. Agocharam. Indriya Agocharam. Therefore, this prayer, remember, why does it say that I not reject Brahman? Because normally we tend to reject as not existing what is not available to our sense organs. Whatever is I can see, perceive through my five sense organs, I only accept that as existing. And this Brahman is not available for any of the sense organs. It is Indriya, Pancha Indriya Agochara. And therefore, the prayer is that may I accept the Brahman's existence provisionally. And when I study, then of course I will be convinced. So here the student is praying for the grace of the Lord to enable him not to reject Brahman because he is not able to perceive Brahman using his sense organs. That's the first part. So, may I not reject Brahman. On the other hand, ma Brahma nirakarot. So there are two mas, right? The first ma is may not. The second ma is me. So me or I. Brahma nirakarot. May that Brahman ma nirakarot not reject ma me. Right? So may that Brahman not reject me. First is may I not reject that Brahman just because I cannot perceive that Brahman using my sense organs. The second is also may that Brahman not reject me. Right? Which basically means what? May Ishvara not reject me. May Ishvara's grace be there with me. And it is repeated. Anirakaranam astu, Anirakaranam may astu. Anirakaranam astu, may there be no rejection of that Brahman by me. Anirakaranam may astu. May that Brahman not reject me. So, in short, O Lord, bless me to have devotion to you, and may you have anugraha towards me. Then, tadatmani nirate mai. With regard to tad atmani, that Brahman, which is Atman, mai nirate. I'm a student, serious student, dedicated to this pursuit of Brahman. I am serious about this knowledge, and therefore Upanishatsu dharma yehe. So here dharma means the necessary qualifications to study the Upanishads. Upanishatsu dharma, the qualifications necessary to be able to come to jnana, which is sadhana chatushtaya, viveka, vairagya, shat mukshutvam. May I have all those by your grace, O Lord. And te mai santu, te mai santu. May I have your grace? May I have your grace? And you have to add, I will definitely make the effort, but without your grace, O Ishvara, that effort is not going to lead to moksha. Therefore, te mai santu, te mai santu. May you please bless me. May you please bless me. Om Shantihi, Shantihi, Shantihi. The first Om is, first Shanti is, let there be no Adi Daivika obstacles. The second Shanti is, let there be no Adi Bhautika obstacles. The third Shanti is, that let there be no Adhyatmika obstacles. Do I need to explain what the three Shantis mean? All of you are senior students. What is Adi Daivika, Adi Bhautika? I hope explanation is not needed. Anybody wants? Please say.
Um, Brahmacharya.
Yes.
So the Daivika are all obstacles that pertain to the deities, the different gods. The Bhautika
The
are,
Daivika you can take as obstacles brought on by the gods, which means obstacles beyond your control.
yes.
Floods, let there be no flood and earthquake when I'm about to go to my class. So that is
Yes.
Adi Daivika.
The Bhautika is like obstacles by other humans around
Obstacles
us.
by other people. May my wife and daughter and husband not come and beat me up while I'm going to class.
Yes. And Adhyatmika are like inner obstacles, like
For my own self, let me not,
yes.
what do you call, let my mind be focused. Let me not be distracted.
Yes.
Okay. Vicky, you wanted something?
I just wanted the explanation of the three. I just got it. Thank you.
Okay, fine. Thank you. So with that, we have finished the Shanti Mantra. And this Shanti Mantra, for those who have done TTC, they will be familiar with it because we use it there in the prayers. And now, let us go to the first chapter. Every chapter is called Adhyaya. each chapter a section called Khandaha. And in each Khandaha, there are varying mantras. Now, unlike the other Upanishads, where we have gone word to word meaning and heavily relied upon Shankara Bhashyam, here I don't propose to do that for a very simple reason. If we start doing that, then with one class a day, we would require 10 years. I don't think the Lord is, going to give me that much time. So we will look at the mantras. I will give you the important words. And in case you want more detailed, anybody really wants to, look at the word by word meaning, then I have a book in the group, right? That book you should buy. That will contain no explanations. It can contain the word to word meanings. So if anybody really wants that, we should look at that book also. But for those who are willing to go by the explanation as I'm giving, the PDF sent is sufficient. So please unmute yourself. Let us chat. This is Adhyaya 1, Chapter 1, Section 1. ओमित्येतदक्षर ओमित्येतदक्षम् उद्गीतमुपासीत
ओमित्येतदक्षरमुद्गीतमासीत उपासीत
ॐ ओमित्येतदक्षरम् उद्गीतम् उपासीत
ओमित्येतदक्षरमुद्गीतमुपासीत
ॐ ओमिति हृद्गायति
ओमितिर्गायति
तस्योव्याख्यानम्
तस्योपव्याख्यानम्
ओमिति एतदक्षरम्
ओमित्येतदक्षरम्
उद्गीतमुपासीत
उद्गीतमुपासीत
ॐ इति
ओमितिः
उद्गायति तस्य
उद्गायति तस्य
उपव्याख्यानम्
उपव्याख्यानम्
So, this is the first mantra, and it is what we call Pratignya Vakyam. The subject is being introduced, right? First, the Pratignya Vakyam is there, then he has to give an explanation of that. So, what is being done here? Omkara Upasana is being introduced. That is why Om iti etat aksharam udgitam upasita. If you look at the words, by now at least the people who are in the senior group should be able to make out the sentences without much of a problem. So it is Om iti etat ksharam udgitam upasita. Right? So why is this Omkara Upasana being introduced? Any Upasana for the serious Vedic student has only one result. What is that?
Chitta Shuddhi.
Chitta Shuddhi. Chitta Shuddhi is not Chitta Ekagrata. Right? Chitta Shuddhi comes from Karma Yoga or Mala. If you call Chitta Shuddhi as removal of Mala, the sadhana is Karma Yoga. For removal of Vikshepa, which you call Chitta Ekagrata, the sadhana is Upasana. So, I'll be using a lot of Sanskrit. So, anybody who doesn't know, please immediately ask. Okay. So, there are three factors involved in any Upasana: Upasaka, Upasyam, Alambanam. Everybody knows.
Yes, Acharya.
Anybody doesn't know? Three words. What are they? Upasaka, Upasyam, Alambanam. All three. Everybody knows that?
Yes, Acharya.
Okay. Would somebody explain what these three are?
Upasaka is the one who is doing the upasana. Upasya is the subject of upasana. That is the Nirguna Brahman or Saguna Brahman.
Okay.
And Alambana is the basis on which we actually concentrate our mind to do the upasana. And in Saguna Upasana, it is basically a photo or a vigraha or something like that. Or it can be in Nirguna Upasana, it can just be a sound like Om, or it can be a light.
Okay. So very good. So alambanam is literally it means that, it's like a coat hanger. You hang your coat onto a hanger, right? So this subject of your upasana, the deity which is the subject of your upasana, the deity on which you are doing upasana, that deity is invoked onto either a idol or a photo, right? So, for example, Shivalingam. Shivalingam is a piece of stone. But when you invoke Lord Shiva on it, it is the alambana, right? Remember this, a very important idea. It need not be a photo, okay? Need not be a photo. Need not be a what do you call idol also. It can be a word, shabda. Shabda can also be alambana. And here, if you look at it, look at the mantra as we go through the mantra, you will see that in the old days, everybody was familiar with the Vedic mantras. So the Vedic mantra itself is the alambana. The mantra is the alambana, not any idol or photo in this upasana. Now, I said that five chapters out of the 8 chapters in this Upanishad, it discusses upasana. What is the necessity? Why so much of, focus on upasana? So ultimately, we are going to reject all that as mithya. So for this, we look at Shankaracharya's commentary. Now, I did say that we are we are not going to look at the bhashyam, but somehow every now and then the bhashyam pops in because without the bhashyam, it's impossible to understand, right? So I am not going to give you Shankara's words and all that. Basically, he says that upasana is necessary because for two reasons. One is upasana can be sakama upasana with desires. And upasana can also be nishkama upasana without desires. Remember that the Veda, Karma Kanda, majority of people do upasana for what purpose? For worldly desires, laukika desires. And the punyam generated from this upasana, from that punyam, you ask for health, you ask for wealth. So wherever you're asking for health or wealth, remember it is sakama. Wherever you're asking for chitta shuddhi, it is nishkama. Therefore, sakama upasana can help you fulfill your laukika ichhas like wealth, health, children, all these things. Nishkama upasana generates chitta shuddhi and brings you to jnana. Those are very basics which we all know, right? But I thought I would repeat. Now, when we talk about upasanas, Veda talks about two types of upasanas. One is called Swatantra Upasana, independent Upasana, right? One is called Karmanga Upasana. So it's to break it up, Karma Anga Upasana. Now, when you do a Swatantra Upasana, there is no ritual being practiced over there. It's only the Upasana. But when you do a Karmanga Upasana, this Upasana, the Karmanga Upasana, as the word implies, is a Angam to the Karma. Karma here means ritual. So where Upasana is practiced as part of some other Vedic ritual, karma, it is called a Karmanga Upasana. Karmanga Upasana, unlike Swatantra Upasana, which generates Chitta Shuddhi, if it is for Nishkama purposes, and it can generate Punyam for health and wealth if it's Sakama. But unlike Nishkama Upasana, Unlike Swatantra Upasana, Karmanga Upasana does not produce any direct benefit at all. What Karmanga Upasana does is the benefit of the karma is enhanced because of the Upasana. Let me give you an example. Chanting Vishnu Sahasranama. It is a Parayanam. Parayanam is what? It's a karma, right? You're supposed to do it every day for those who have taken up that. Now, that is a simple ritual, karma matram, right? Chanting the Vishnu Sahasranama. But if I use the dhyana slokas in the beginning, also, the dhyana sloka is not karma. The dhyana sloka is upasana. And since it is connected to the karma of Vishnu Sahasranama, that dhyana sloka becomes a karmanga upasana. Am I making sense? Any doubts have to be resolved right there and then.
Acharya ji, the Dhyana Shloka is part of Vishnu Sahasranama chanting. So then is it not just...
No, it's not part of Vishnu Sahasranama. Sahasranama chanting is the dhyana sloka is the karmanga upasana part. We do it generally because you don't want to do only karma. You want to enhance the effect of it. That is why you do the dancing. Okay. And sometimes it becomes so closely allied with each other that we don't even remember that we are doing dhyana sloka. You are not supposed to chant the dhyana sloka in ritualistic manner. When you do dhyana sloka, it should be upasana, which each word you should visualize the form which is being described in those words. Then it becomes upasana.
Yeah, I got that. Thank you.
Okay. Right. While as I said, Swatantra Upasana is an independent Upasana, not connected with any ritual. It produces its own benefits. Now, how do we start? Generally, when a person starts on the Vedic path, he starts in Grahastha. He begins with Karmanga Upasana, right? Because he has a lot of karmas to do. The Grahastha has a lot of karmas to do, so he focuses on Karmanga Upasana only. And later on, when he becomes a Vanaprasthi, then he drops the karma, then he focuses on Swatantra Upasana. Okay, that is the usual. Of course, those things don't make any sense now because nobody does all that. But anyway, this is the background. The Upasana itself can be divided into two. Sampad Upasana, that is one, and the other one is Pratika Upasana. See, these words are important to remember. I don't think you've heard this before. Sampad Upasana. What is Sampad Upasana? On a alambanam, on any alambanam, when you invoke a higher principle, right? You have to decide whether something is Sampada Upasana or Pratika Upasana. The criteria is that you figure out which is the dominant, entity, whether it is the imagination or it is the alambana. For example, in some of the rituals or upasanas, we offer akshataha. What is akshataha?
Rice.
Rice.
Rice grains.
Rice, right. But when you're offering the rice, you are not offering it as the rice.
No.
Like a
You're
nived.
offering it as either the clothes or the ornaments. You see the difference? I am offering rice to the deity. But I am saying this is not rice, oh Lord. These are your clothes, these are your ornaments. And therefore the rice is not looked upon as a rice, but is looked upon as something higher. So, like the clothes or the ornaments. Where is the focus? The focus is on the imagination. The rice does not convert itself into ornament, but the rice is imagined to be an ornament. This is Sampadopasana, where the offering is imagined to be something else. Am I clear?
जी आचार्य.
Chaji, thank you.
Okay. Then, second one is Pratika Upasana. So, in the Pratika Upasana, the focus is not on the offering. Right? The focus is on the Alampanam. So, here, for example, I invoke Shiva on a piece of stone. And then that piece of stone becomes a Shiva Lingam for me. I treat it as Lord Shiva. So the Alambanam, the stone, it has actually become the Lord. And it is treated as Lord Shiva. This is called Pratika Upasana. Pratikam is the idol or the symbol. And here in this Upanishad, in these mantras, we are not getting Sampadopasana, we are getting Pratika Upasana. What is the Alambanam? The Alambanam is the Sama mantras. Right? The Sama mantras are divided into two parts, into two categories. Some mantras have 5 parts, and some mantras have 7 parts. So all these are very important, okay? Because so please note them down, and if you have not noted them down after the class is over, please note these things and commit it to memory, because otherwise you'll find it difficult as we go on. And remember, this is not Jnanam portion. So unless the ritualistic portion is clear, you will not be able to understand what's going on in the next class. So some of the mantras can be divided into 5 parts, and some of the mantras can be divided into seven parts. Each of the part has a technical name. It's called bhakti. Bhakti. So it is a paribhasha, technical name. Bhakti. And here you will find that upasana is presented on each of these bhaktis. So it's called a Sam Bhakti, because Sama mantra is being divided into 5 and 7, and each part is a bhakti. So we are going to do upasana on each part. Each part is a Sama Bhakti. So in the first chapter, there is one particular Sama Bhakti he called Udgita Bhakti. Udgita Bhakti. What is Udgita? Udgita is nothing but Omkara. Right? In this Udgita Bhakti, in this part of the mantra, which is called Bhakti, which is Udgita Bhakti, you will find that Omkara will be there. In that particular part, you'll find Omkara will be there. And since Omkara is the most prominent part of the Udgita Bhakti, Omkara itself is called Udgita. And therefore, wherever in Samaveda you find the word Udgita, Udgita, it's not the Udgita. Okay, wherever in Samaveda you find Udgita, remember that it is Omkara. So, Omkara occurring in Samaveda is known by Udgita. And therefore, Udgita Upasana is nothing but Omkara Upasana, but only in the context of Samaveda. In any other Veda, Omkara Upasana is not called Udgita Upasana. It's called Omkara Upasana, or it's called Pranava Upasana, right? But wherever it occurs in Samaveda, Omkara is Udgita, Udgita, therefore Udgita Upasana. And this entire first chapter discussion is on Udgita Upasana. And that is why Om iti etad aksharam udgitam upasita. You can understand? Om iti etad aksharam. That aksharam, that alphabet called Om, which is nothing but Udgitam Upasita. You should meditate on Udgita, which is nothing but Omkara. Remember that Udgita, Omkara is the Alambanam. And when I say Omkara is the Alambanam, Shankara says, in his commentary, Shankara says, Omiti means Padam and not Padartha. What does that mean? Remember Om.
Word and word meaning.
So what is the word meaning of Om? Should not have forgot Mandukya, okay?
No.
The entire Mandukya, we first 12 mantras are only on Om. Therefore, Shankara says, when here we are doing Upasana, don't go and remember Mandukya. Om means the sound Om, Padam, the word Om, the sound Om. Therefore, when you say Omkara is the Alambanam, when you say Udgita is the Alambanam, remember it is the Om sound, not the Om meaning. Okay. Then how does Omkara get the word Udgitam? So Om iti, the mantra says Om iti he Udgayati. Udgayati, when you break up, it becomes Udgayati. Ut means a very high pitch. Therefore, if you hear Omkara chanting in Samaveda, not chanting, singing, you will find that whenever Om is sung, it's in a very high pitch. And therefore, Ut Gayati, that which is sung in a very high pitch, that Om, which is sung in a very high pitch, or that is called Udgitam, because it is sung in a high pitch. And then what? Tasya Upa Vyakhyanam. This Upasana, Upavyakhyanam means explanation. Tasya means that Om, which is sung in a high pitch, which means that Udgitam, Upasana, Upavyakhyanam is being now explained, and it is going to be Pratika Upasana. Remember, the focus is on the Alambanam, Omkara. And in this first section, there are 3 types of Omkara Upasana discussed. Right? So, we will continue in the next class because I have a bad throat. I don't want to push it too far because I got 2 classes tomorrow also. Otherwise, we could have taken 2 more mantras just now. But I hope you'll understand that I just don't want to risk my throat going back. Okay. So with this, we'll stop for today. Any questions? So I hope this total change from Jnanam to Upasana you are finding interesting. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat, Om Namah Shivaya. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you, Acharya.
Thank you, Acharya ji. Bye.